Hello, my name is Ben Malsite, and this is my PowerPoint on why there should be fighting in hockey. This is based off of Chapter 5 in our textbook entitled Violence in Sport, Ethically Accepting Boundaries. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about how fighting helps police the game of hockey, how it protects the star players in hockey, how it has the potential to change the outcome of a game, how it puts fans in the stands, how fans enjoy fighting, and how the players in the NHL and even some of the coaches and general managers and ownership want to keep fighting in the game of hockey. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about how fighting helps police the game. Okay, so what do I mean by police? Well, without fighting, hockey becomes a dirtier sport. If you talk to or read about other players in the NHL, they think that fighting helps keep the game clean and keep the game fair. Without fighting, there's a cheap shot, which I mean some would get fined, but not all of them. Um, Fighting helps make sure that people play by the rules, and if they don't, um, if people don't abide by the rules at all times, um, the opposing player is going to come at them with fighting because they want the game to be played fairly, and adds an element of fear. So if there's no fighting in hockey, and they break the rule, players will not be scared at all. They'll have no reason to not perform a dirty play to give their team an advantage. But if you have fighting in the game of hockey, players will abide by the rules because they know that if they do pull a cheap shot, they will pay for it. They will get hurt. Ross Bergstein, who is an NHL insider, I thought he put it well. He said that the specter of seeing a hulking figure such as a 6'7", 275-pound enforcer sitting at the end of the bench makes Jack think twice about what they do out on the ice. I mean, this is true. I saw somebody that big sitting at the end of the bench, and it was his job just to fight somebody who did something wrong. I would think twice about what I was doing as well. Okay? When they come to a game, they want to see the best players play the game. Okay? Let's be honest here. Yes, you might be fans of a team, okay? But like someone might be fans of the Pittsburgh Penguins, but when they're not going to see the team. They want to go see Sidney Crosby. They want to go see Evgeny Malkin. Okay? They want to see these players. Okay? If those players aren't playing because they're hurt, then not as many fans are going to go. They're probably not going to sell out. They're not going to get many people to the game. If we don't have fighting, then the potential for these star players to be hurt increases a lot. Opposing teams will have players that are going to target star players because they want to get them out of the game so that their team has a better chance. Um, yes, fighting does increase injury as well, but not to the star players. Um, have you ever noticed how there's no fighting in the Olympics? The Olympics has all the top players in the world. They have all the star players. Okay, star players are not in the game to fight. They're in the game to score goals, to help set up goals. The people who are on teams for fight, and to make hard hits, um, they they don't make Olympics because they don't score. Okay, um, yeah. So I mean, you come to a game that's not the Olympics, then Ross would have two or three guys that are on that team just to be reinforced and be protected. And so if the star players are hurt, then there's less fans and you make less money. If you look at this picture here, Devils player is punching the Islanders player, but if you look at the fans in the background, they are very intrigued, they are very happy, and they feel like they're getting their money for it. If you look at different sports such as basketball, you could have a thunderous slam, you could have a block which leads to a thunderous dunk. Okay, that could change the huge outcome of the game, give their team momentum. Or in baseball, you could have either a an incredible diving catch, or the opposing team could make an error, or there's a home run. These are all potential to change the outcome of the game. Whereas in hockey, a fight has that potential to change momentum, and it happens more often than you think. If a team is not playing well, if I'm flat and they have no urgency, um, somebody will come on the ice, and it could be the most unlikely person. It could be one of your stars that they'll just drop the gloves and they'll start fighting. Even if they don't win the fight adds energy and it adds urgency to the team and to the fans. If it's a home game and the fans aren't really in it because the team's losing 3-0, they see their star player or somebody who doesn't normally fight drop the gloves, even though they might lose the fight. The fans and the players start seeing um, this guy sticking out his neck to do something that he's not normally comfortable with, just to get his team some energy, and people will respond. An example of this: in 2009, in the Eastern Conference semifinals, the Pittsburgh Penguins were playing the Philadelphia Flyers. Okay, the Penguins were down 3-0 in the game and had no momentum at all. They were playing flat. They just looked dead. There was no energy. And um, right after the face-off, after the third goal, one of the Penguins players dropped his glove and started fighting somebody on the Flyers. The guy in the Penguins got absolutely crushed in the fight. Didn't even really put up a challenge. However, his teammates saw what he had done. They saw him stick out his neck and do something that not many guys do, especially in the playoffs. The Penguins ended up rallying around that fight. They scored 5 goals in a row, won 5-3, and that helped them close up the series and defeat the Flyers and eliminate the Flyers. The YouTube link at the bottom of this slide, that is the link to the fight itself. And if you watch it and you listen to it, you can hear the announcers say, "I don't know why the Flyers player got into this fight. There's no reason to. His team has all the energy and the momentum. Yes, the fans might enjoy it, but this guy essentially just gave the Penguins the momentum that it was looking for." And the Flyers ended up losing. And I believe after that game, that was the last time he played for the Flyers. So fighting has a huge impact on the game that sometimes goes unnoticed. Today, the NHL is a business. Okay, just like any other sports organization or other sport that's played in the United States, it's a business. It's looking for money. It's the revenue, right? And the fans are the ones who generate that revenue. They're the ones that pay to come to games, they buy the apparel, all that kind of stuff. And so you want to give the fans what they want, right? There are a lot of fans that will come to games just to see a fight. Um, if you talk to if you talk to somebody who's at a game that's not a casual hockey fan, you'd be like, "What are you looking for out of the game?" A lot of them will say that they're looking for a fight. People go crazy for these fights. They add a lot of enjoyment. Um, Personal story for me, I have been very fortunate to go to a lot of New Jersey Devils games when I was growing up. And the one game that really stands out in my mind, even though it was nothing special, was a huge hit, or followed by a huge fight. The game really meant nothing, but the fight itself stands out in my mind, and it was because of the fight. If you've noticed through the pictures that I put into this presentation, I try to take pictures that have fans in the background that show them getting excited because it's a fight that's going on. Fans love the fight. Okay. Um, like I said earlier, yes, it can mean that people get hurt, but you can get hurt in any part of the game. Okay, that's like saying in basketball, let's get rid of the charge because guys are going to get hurt trying to charge. Okay, it's part of the game, and it's something that fans really enjoy. I feel like if you take it out, that you're going to be taking out a part of the game itself that has been part of it ever since it started. In the book, in our textbook, on page 187, it makes the point that it says at the bottom, it says, If fighting was no longer allowed in American hockey, the game may need to be renamed as something other than hockey. Professional hockey in the United States is known for and partially defined as a sport that includes fighting. Okay, it's something that people associate with hockey. It's something that hockey is known for, and it's something that makes hockey the sport that it is. Um, Fighting helps create highlights that fans want to watch over and over and over again, which brings more publicity to the sport itself and helps create more revenue for hockey for the NHL. Okay, moving on of fighting. Okay, if you look in the bottom picture here again, you'll notice these are two goalies. Goalies don't normally fight, okay, but fans get really pumped about it when fighting happens. If you look in the background of this picture, you see an older gentleman standing up and getting very excited, and you got the younger boy next to him raising his fist and getting excited because of the fight. And it looks like the guy to the left of the goaltenders are starting to whistle. People get excited about it. Players are fans of fighting, okay? Like I said at the beginning of this presentation, players love it because it helps police the game. Players will all say that, not all players, but most players would say that fighting in the sport of hockey protects players, and there's players in the game of hockey just for fighting and hard hits and policing the game. That's their job. So if you took fighting out of hockey, then you're taking some players out of their job. And nobody wants to do that. Let's be real here. Coaches aren't in favor of fighting as well. Coaches applaud their players when they fight. They notice that their players are making a sacrifice for the team, putting themselves on the line, just so that they can try to spark some momentum for their team, for their teammates, and for the game itself. Coaches don't necessarily encourage it, but after it happens, they normally applaud their players because it is such a big momentum swing. People say that if fighting should be banned because it promotes violence and it promotes um, injury almost. But hockey, however, and players really would with this outside. It's a sense of protection and it's a sense of where it needs to be and how it should be done. Okay, they're not saying go out and fight somebody because they're being bad to you. Okay, these guys are friends with each other off the ice. Okay, they're not enemies. Okay, they don't hate each other. Okay, this is their job. They're not doing this because they hate people. All right, that's the difference between the moral and the ethical issue of it. Okay, they're doing this as a job. They're not doing it because they hate each other. Okay, Connor McDavid. He was the #1 overall pick in last year's hockey draft. He's a rookie this year. His name has been linked with Wayne Gretzky, the greatest hockey player of all time, and has a chance. They all say that he has a chance to be just as good. Last year, while he was in junior, he got in a fight. This is actually a picture of it at the bottom. He got into a fight, and in his fight, he swung at the guy, he missed the guy, and he punched the glass, okay, and it broke his hand, um, which caused him injury, caused him to miss time. He said, he came out after, somebody said, do you think we should get rid of fighting because he got hurt? We don't want our star players to get hurt. He responded with, listen, I was sticking up for my guy. I was trying to help him. And I'll do it again. I'll fight again in a heartbeat. Okay, so players stick up and try to protect their players, their teammates. They respect everybody, but they don't want, cheap shots to be happening. Okay? Um, if fighting was banned in hockey, the likelihood of fighting happening again is still going to happen. Okay, it's still very likely. It's still going to happen. Like I said, players feel like it needs to be there. There is a general manager for the Toronto Maple Leafs. His name's Lou Lamoriello. Lou Lamoriello. Sorry, excuse me. He is well known in the game of hockey. He's well respected. He has come out and said that he doesn't think now is the time to spend fighting. He said that maybe one day, but not now. He says that it needs to stay because it helps police the game, and he feels like the sport would become a dirtier sport if fighting was gone. There would be more violence and more injury. Okay, and like I said earlier, players are paid to hit and fight. That is their job. They are big, they are strong, and it is their job to hit somebody and to fight somebody when the time is right. That's why they are in the National Hockey League. Or as a league, an organization can only do so much with fines. Um, but fighting is a way that protects the game, protects the reputation, and it protects players. Right? We also talked about how fighting can change the outcome of a game. It can change the momentum and bring energy to a team when they need it. Our fighting also puts fans in the stands. People want to see it. People enjoy it. And at the end of the day, the NHL is a business, and they're looking to make money. And finally, players want to keep fighting. Okay, they enjoy it. Um, they enjoy how it protects them and keeps the game clean. Okay, so I believe that the NHL and all of hockey in the world needs to keep fighting. I think that fighting makes the game better. I feel like the game would be dirtier without fighting. And yes, even though the injuries do occur from fighting, injuries occur at any time um, during any sport or everyday life, and injuries can occur. Banning fighting is not going to help keep the game or people from getting injured in a hockey game. All right, so thank you for listening and watching and paying attention to my presentation. I am Ben B. Malphite, and I believe that the NHL should keep fighting. My question for you guys would be, do you think the NHL should get rid of fighting? Do you think that the sport would um, be dirtier without fighting? Or do you think that players would run a bigger risk of getting hurt if there was no fighting? All right, so I look forward to your responses, and I will do my best to respond to them. Thanks, guys.